Hi, it's Father Anthony here in VM Patches, and this is to prepare his way. And today I'd like to talk a little bit about confirmation bias. Now, many of you know what confirmation bias is. I actually just found out about, well, I guess it was 15 years ago now, but I was about 40 years old when I found out what confirmation bias was. I first heard that phrase. I was in the seminary. I was ordained in 2005, so it was before that. And we had a speaker come in from Southdown Institute, which is a place where priests and religious go if they find themselves in trouble, like with addictions or something like that. And this fellow came in to speak to us about internet addiction. And yeah, he's a layman, and I don't think he is a theologian or anything like that, but he was giving us this talk. And in the talk, he used this phrase, confirmation bias. I'd never heard of that. I started thinking, what is that? Does that have something to do with confirmation? You know, the sacrament of confirmation? Because, you know, I was totally theological mindset, right? About sacraments and theology and everything like that, and pastoral counseling, I guess, in a way. But anyway, I look around, right? I look behind me, and I look to see all of the other seminarians and the professors, and to see if anyone is looking puzzled, like I was feeling. And they're all looking like this. Sorry, without the smirk, without the smile. They're just staring at him. There's like that. And I guess that's the way they look when they're listening to people. I kind of felt sorry for the guy. So anyway, I put up my hand and I said, and I asked him the question, what's confirmation bias? And then he told us, he told me, he said, confirmation bias is this, refers to this tendency as human beings that we tend to only believe that which confirms what we already believe. Well, anyway, I said, oh, okay, and a bunch of other people said, oh, so I'm glad I asked the question. Confirmation bias then prevents us from learning new things, right? I mean, if someone comes with something new and I've never heard it before, then the tendency is to not believe it. I mean, it has to be in sync somehow with the things that I already believe. A child doesn't have confirmation bias. A child is open to learning. And then as the child kind of makes sense of things and learns what is and what isn't, what's what isn't, and as he gets a little older, then, you know, if someone tried to lie to him, he'll say, no, that's not true. Something like that. But they're more likely to be able to learn if someone says, no, it is true. Here, look, let me show you. Right? Now, when someone gets, you know, to be a teenager somewhere in there, 16 years old, 15 years old, I'm not trying to pick on the seminary, on the teenagers, right? But, you know, that's when you kind of know everything. Okay? That's a real big confirmation bias there. No one can tell you anything. Your parents can't tell you anything. You're just, no way. And you're very, you just know it all. But then hopefully you mature a little bit more, and then you realize you don't know everything. Maybe you get into the workforce or something like that, and then, you know, you're open to learning new things, and that's good. Now, as an adult, I think what happens is, because we try to make a sense of the world, and also we get hurt here or there. So maybe we get conned, you know, by a con man. We get scammed, right? Or maybe in a relationship we get hurt or something like this, and then kind of walls go up and we get skeptical and we're not as trusting, and we get a little bit cynical maybe. So the confirmation bias really kicks in. But that really limits our potential, don't you think? I mean, think of all the things that, I mean, I don't know everything. There's lots of things I need to learn. But what if I have blind spots? What if I have walls up that won't allow me to listen? And the reason I wanted to start this video series with confirmation bias is because we need to be aware of that, or beware of it, we could say. And the solution to it, the remedy, is to keep an open mind. To really tell ourselves that I've got to keep an open mind. I need to listen to others. I need to be willing to learn. When I give some advice to someone who's looking for a job, or a young person especially, they don't have any really work experience, they've just gone to school at various levels, I try to encourage them. I try to say, look, most employers, what they're looking for is someone that they can get along with, because they're going to, they're going to see you, or you're going to be working with other people. They're going to be seeing you every day. So you need to have a pleasant personality, go in with a smile and be agreeable to a certain extent, right? I mean, not to compromise who you are, but to be agreeable and to be teachable. See, a lot of times a young person, they get intimidated because they don't have work experience. And I try to encourage them, don't let that stop you. Because someone might have 10, 20 years of work experience, an exact same type of job with another company. And maybe an employer would say, this is great, I want that person. They've got a lot of experience, I don't have to train them, or minimal training, and we're going to maybe learn some things about our competitors, how they do things. So I might want to hire that person. But they might not want to either, because many employers find that when they hire someone with tons of experience from another firm, or whether another field, they kind of know it all. And they're not very teachable. And they kind of got stuck in their ways of doing things the way the other company did it. And they might not want to do that. So anyway, that's just kind of in a way a practical example of confirmation bias, of when we think we know it all, prevents us from learning. Now, I heard this saying a long time ago. I think it's quite apropos, and it's kind of funny too, and that is keep an open mind, but not so open that your brain falls out, right? And that's true. Some people, they end up being gullible. Say, well, I have to keep an open mind. Okay. Keep an open mind, but not so open that your brain falls out. In other words, let's have a kind of a standard of rational thought. As human beings, we are capable of rational thought. So this is the invitation that I put out to you, anyone who would be watching this video. At any time, in this video or in future videos, that you come across something that I'm saying that is not rational, that is not logical, that is perhaps an invalid argument, invalid reasoning, or logical fallacy, then let me know. Do me a favor, and do all of us a favor, and let me know. Leave a comment in the comments. If you want to be anonymous, be anonymous. You want to put your real name, put your real name. I do think it's a good practice, actually, to put your real name down on any correspondence and comments or anything like that. And the reason is it keeps you accountable, right? Because you're not going to, you're putting your reputation, you're going to think twice about what you're going to put down. But nonetheless, I don't care. Put whatever you want down. Obviously, I don't want trolls and all that, but put whatever you want down. But if you see something that I'm not being consistent, not being logical, then let me know. And if you show me my errors, the errors of my ways, the errors of my thinking, the errors of my worldview, or worldviews, we could say, then I'll change my mind. And I'll let everyone know. If it's on YouTube, I'll let them know. Or if you go to the website for NVIDIA Patches, nvidiapatches.org, please do that. Please check it out. You see something in my blog or one of my pages, then let me know. I'll change my mind, and I'll let everyone know that I was wrong. And I'll probably even give you credit. And I hope this doesn't sound strange, but I'll love you for the rest of my life in a special way. As Christians, we love everyone. That's what it means when Jesus says, be perfect as your Heavenly Father is perfect. right? It doesn't mean the perfectionist or perfectionism. That's not a virtue, right? That's a curse, right? But it means to be all encompassing, to love everyone, love even your enemies, is Jesus' teachings. And how we do that and what that really means, no, that's for a future video. But we love everyone. But I'll love you in a special way if you correct me. Because one thing I want, and I think you want, I think most people want, is the truth. Our hearts, our minds, we long for the truth. Because what's the point of believing something that's not true? There's a field of philosophy called epistemology, which is the philosophy of knowledge. How do we know what we know? And again, that will be another video, or future videos perhaps. But one definition, it's rudimentary and it's not maybe we poke holes in it, but knowledge is justified true belief. Okay, well, true is very important, because is it real knowledge? If you have a belief, you've justified it, but it's false. No, it's not good. So there you go. Be aware of confirmation bias. Tune in for some more videos. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when there's a new video coming up. And let me know when I'm not rational. Okay? Right on. Okay, in Viam Pacis, into the way of peace. God bless.